Hey everyone, it's Terry with Early Girls Yarn. I am working on the Ninilchik Swoncho by Boylan Knitworks, Caitlin Hunter. And I've not done a video in a while, so I thought I would share the float side. Floats are when you catch your yarn when you're doing color work and you're knitting over longer stretches. So this is the back side. This is where I attach my yarns. Sometimes I weave them in, like right here. I don't know if you can see, I did the weave and Steven right there. So I was able to weave that in. Sometimes I've left them out and I'll have to weave them in later. Now I did choose to catch my floats, and I've been doing that when I can, like right there. I don't know if you can see, that is where the green float was caught by the purple. So I do catch my floats, except there's one row every once in a while where you've got 3 colors at once. So I'm going to flip this back over so we can see the work. So there is one row where you're knitting one of, like for me, the pink, 2 greens, 1 purple, 2 greens, 1 pink. When I do that row, when I've got 3 colors going at one time, I do not catch floats because they're never going more than I think 4 stitches, so I don't technically have to. Typically, the rule of thumb is that you can have that float go for 5 stitches and be fine. Some people don't catch their floats at all. So float is when you're floating your second color behind your work. And this row is where you can see where there's like the purple and the pink are right next to each other and they're longer. That's where I did not catch my floats, but it's just for me too much to juggle. And I don't think you can really tell. Now in my work, let's see, I know it's a cloudy day here, but in my work, you can see where it's puckering a little bit. You know, it's not as flat as it will be once it's blocked. And that's okay. That's part of color work. I mean, I do a pretty good job of keeping it loose, but it's just part of color work. So I know that when I wet it, it'll flatten out. So I'm okay with that. If it was really tight, like if it was like this tight, you know, and you couldn't really see, it wasn't relaxed at all, I would go and do that again and knit it again with my tension. But like when I just hold it up just a little bit and give it a little space, it flattens out just fine. So I know that this will be fine once it's blocked. Yeah, so that's my tips for color work. I guess I can knit a little bit and show you what I mean, because I'm at the point in the pattern where I have 5 purple and 1 green. So I just knit a green stitch. So I'm going to knit 2 purples, and then all I do is I bring my green from under the purple to over the purple. Well, you can't even really see it, but that's it. It's just the ball of yarn. I loop under, from under to over, and then I pick my work up again. I knit my last 3 purple stitches and then my green. And I kind of try and like move my yarn down to make sure that I'm not pulling too tight or having, that there's enough room for all my stitches and with the float behind. So again, I'm just gonna move my ball of yarn from under to over. And what that does, as you can see, it kind of catches like right there. I don't know if you can see that purple is catching the green. So it just makes it so that it kind of comes along with the purple and it's not as far for the green to stretch when it's time to knit with that. So here's my 1 green stitch. And when I do color work, so continental, you'd have it in your left and it would be held differently, but that's how I hold it in my left. I just kind of, you know, have a little tension there. I reach under, dip under and grab it. And then whatever color, I know there's different theories about dominating color, but I've mixed it all up and I don't know that you can really tell. But whatever one I'm doing the most stitches with, I tend to do with my right hand. So right now I'm doing 5 with this one. So I do it with my right hand because I'm an English knitter. And then I do the one with the fewer amount of stitches with my left.